Alright, welcome back to Dale Kramer's fucking cars, whatever you want. Oh, God, I did it again. Anyway, welcome back to Dale Kramer's Custom Cars and Anything. I believe this is episode 8th. 8th. Anyway, it's time to mount the front end. So, anyway, according to I had the fender on here and everything, and according to the specs on the internet, it says this thing has to have a 108 inch wheelbase from the center of the rear axle to the center of that hub in the front end. So we got to have 108 inches between the two. That is wheelbase. So what I did is I checked some photos and stuff on the internet, and it said that line right here on the floor, and then it crosses over to here, was the axle center line. Okay, so I figure, okay, it's 108 inches from that to the front here. So what I did is I dropped the camera, is I drew a mark at 108 inches, and I drew, or I dropped down some plumb bobs, and as you can see, down the center line, or the center of the axle. And I measured 108 inches forward. Okay? So anyway, well, that's going to be close there. That rear end cover to that down spot there. But anyway, so now what I'll do is I'll take this tape measure out of here. I got it clipped down so it won't move on me. So let's get the tape measure out because we got our there we go. Whoever invented a wind-up tape measure, boy, that's a good idea. Anyway, so then the next step we had to do is we had to make sure the frame was level. That this way. I checked both frame rails, and we got them level. If you can see that at all. Anyway, and then we want to cross, make sure that was level. Okay. So now we got the frame level. We got our 108 inches marked out on each side. So then what I'll do, put that down. Gotta keep stuff out of your way. Then I'll go to work and I'll take a straight edge from this mark. I'll make sure it's straight on the frame here. Okay, so you can see now that mark that I marked there by hand is off just about 1/4 of an inch. But this one lines up. So we're going to go off of this mark here, this one. I can see a little mark. Oh, if I can find everything here. Starting to unload the toolbox again here. Anyway, I believe that mark was right about there. Okay. So let's check this again. So we'll put this straight edge across here. And that, see, there's our mark that we made. Right to this one. So we know that's a parallel mark. So let's put this down. So that's where the axle or the center line of the wheels in the front is. It's 108 inches. We wanted to try to keep it the same so we could run the factory fenders and stuff on this thing, you know. And it might be, you know, a little difficult later to do, you know, headers and stuff on here. I'm not sure. But so now what we got to do is I gotta tip this thing back 5 degrees, but then I gotta keep that center line going. So I'm gonna set up a plumb bob string. So it'll just take me a minute. All right, now I set up a string line. You know, that's the front hub center line. So it's 108 inches from there to the rear center of the axle. So we got 108 inches here. So let's check that. So now I'm going to put the square here on that line. And you can see it's just barely touching that line. I don't know if you can see that at all. That's the shadow that you see. See, there's the actual mark. That's the shadow of that line. Kind of wish I had a laser. You can see I'm forward on that a little bit. Not much though. There we go. There it is. Okay, and I'm going by the secondary line. Okay. So that's the axle, the hub center line. So now the next step will be, okay, so we're good to go there. And this pulls down the center of this pole. So this pole is the indicator that goes down the center of that hub. So this side is okay. This side, I can tell it's forward, and I got the wheels exactly pointed straight ahead. So this has to be pulled back to about there. Whoop. Not too far now. So now I'm down the center line of that pole. It's hard to tell here. But I'm still on that. Okay. And now we're crooked on this side. I suppose the other side will move now. No. Okay. So I'm going to put you on pause. Because now I gotta, let's see here. It's so hard to see. All right, here we go again. Now, there's a lot to consider here, okay? The front end has to be tipped back 5 degrees, so when you stop at a stop sign, it doesn't do this routine, dives, you know, anti-dive it's called. You know, just follow my hand. If you're coming up to the stop sign, in slow motion, you gotta stop really fast. It doesn't go like this, dives to the front of the car. So you want a 5 degree tip back on that, but yet you want to keep your 108 inches wheelbase. So you can see I used the WD-40 ends and I clipped them on the studs and I made sure it was in the center. So it's pointing to the center of the stud, which comes up, and then this goes across, and then my 108-degree measurements are here, you know, and then it goes across, and it goes down to the other indicator here that I have set up right in the center, because this is pulling in the center. That's straight, so there's that. Now the next step is we got to tip back 5 degrees, and you can see on my angle finder there it's at 5 degrees. You see the dial indicator down there? And I do it off that cross member because that's the most, you know. Now the next step you got to do, you're going to make sure this thing's in the center of the frame, not to one side. Well, this one here is to the center, but it's quite a little bit to the driver's side because of the way it was spot welded together on the frame and on the original frame. So that's okay. But then the next step is you want to make sure it's level from side to side, you know. Not that this side's higher or lower than this side. And it's level. So it's ready to be tack welded in. So I'm going to weld this sucker in quick. So that's about putting it on your frame, you know. So let's tack this up quick. That way I can maybe get rid of some of this stuff. But you can see the gap in here between the frame and that piece of metal. But the problem is this goes back at an angle. It's tight back here. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to weld this in. We're going to call this a video. And then on the next video, then, you know. So I'm not going to sit here and film me, you know, welding this in. Because I'm going to have to make some pieces that are going to fill this in. You know, that gap. Because for that 5-degree anodive. So hopefully I explained this enough to you guys to understand what we're doing here, you know, like my production. Look at my production. Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe, and this will be, I believe this is number 8 of the coupe build here, and well, we're getting there, guys. Slowly but surely. We'll talk to you in another video. Bye-bye.